Hello, it's Dan from Skills Miner. I'm going to take you through the journey for a candidate right from the beginning right to the very end, just so you've got an idea of how that looks from kind of all angles. Conscious that we've got a catch-up meeting next week, but this would hijack the vast majority of that meeting, so I thought I'd do a recording in advance so you can watch that in advance or after that meeting, so you've got a full idea and I can just focus in that meeting next week on the key bits of development that we've done since we last spoke. So there's a couple of ways that a candidate could sign up to the system. So I'm going to give you the example first of all of the Cache alumni one. So you may be aware we've got a presence on the Cache alumni website now, and if you click on this page here, it will take you to the Skills Miner product. The other way of doing that, of course, if it's a managed service, is if you had a tutor or a frontline person, whoever it might be, they can create a candidate quite easily just by going into the staff portal, creating the details, and that will send an email to the candidate from which they can sign up. I won't do that one for now. I'll show you how we currently do it for kind of Cache alumni, but the principles are very, very similar. So if we click on the link here to sign up to Skills Miner, it will take us to the Skills Miner page. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Put in your details. I'm just going to quickly populate this. Click the sign up button once we've entered all of those details. We'll receive a verification code. Pop the verification code in. Oops. Sorry about that. Let me try that again. Then it'll just ask us to sign up again. And away we go. Right, so this, first of all, we're going to go through the assessment. So you might be already quite familiar with a lot of this process, so if you want to fast forward a few minutes, I'm not going to spend too long going through all of this, because you're probably familiar with this from last time. We haven't made a huge amount of change for any of these. I think what probably I will talk about, if you're not fast forwarding past this moment, is the fact that what we should look to do at some point maybe is look at the tone of voice for this and maybe legislate for some of the additional things that we might do as part of this project in terms of how it aligns to kind of qualifications and things like that, but we won't worry about that too much for now, of course. And I will just quickly talk about the mapping piece that we have done over the last couple of months. So as you're aware, what we always do is as part of our raison d'etre, I guess, for Skills Miner, is map individual people's previous experience, their skills, knowledge, competencies, their styles, knowledge, etc., into occupational fits. That works brilliant for occupations, but what we did over the last couple of months is we've started now mapping qualifications to that as well. So basically Dawn Mulvaney and myself and some of our other colleagues have been basically through this process looking at each individual qualification that you deliver as NCFE and Cache alumni and mapping those qualifications to individual occupations. And similarly we've done the same thing with Ofqual and looked at all 15,000 of those, but instead of trying to do them at an individual level like we did with you guys, what we did for the Ofqual things is, for the Ofqual qualifications, is we simply used the sector subject areas that that we the sector subject areas that were provided through the Ofqual register. So that's what we've done in the background. That's what we've been mapping. So you will hopefully get a sense of this as I just whip through the rest of this assessment. Like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time describing exactly what we're doing here. I'm sure you're all relatively familiar with this, but basically all of these shapes that you can see on this right hand side here and the skills that we've got, this is the collateral that we use to then find those occupations and jobs and qualifications, basically. So this shape that we can see now appearing for our work style is exactly the shape that we have for 3,000 occupations, and the occupations are then mapped to jobs and qualifications. I'm going to stop talking because I'm finding it hard to multitask and I'm not getting anywhere quick, so I'll just quickly rattle through the rest of these. Just obviously randomly clicking these, so when you do see the match at the other side of this, you often don't see much correlation between occupational experience and the styles and interest, and that is purely just because, of course, I'm randomly clicking those styles and interests. So you can see first of all that these are the occupations that are mapped, so based on preferred experience, previous experience, and then all of the skills. So without repeating myself from previous demonstrations, because we have previous experience as a nurse, we're quite well suited to being a nurse assistant, an orthoptist, an occupational therapist to kind of varying degrees. So you've got 49% of the skills for an occupational therapist because of our previous experience as a nurse, etc. So that's how we kind of do that kind of skills gap analysis. If we start looking at, and if you can just see here as a summary as well, so based on our previous experience and preferences, we've got 406 jobs that are suitable to us, along with 749 qualifications. Now this is obviously on the Cash alumni instance. If it wasn't Cash alumni and it was a college, it would be a refined view of that, which would obviously not include all of the 15,000 qualifications that you guys can see. It would just be specifically for that college. But what we can do there is select various jobs, and you can see we get a little filter in here. So we're now seeing the 73 jobs that are applicable for this candidate as a nurse and administrator, and the 47 qualifications that are also kind of suitable. If you just flip across here to the training, this invokes another filter, so it tells you what levels are available for these two occupations and what we've got. So it then makes it easier for you to kind of filter down. So if somebody's looking for, we'll just do level 4, seeing that's the last one on the list, you can see there that as we take those out, it now just shows us the level 4s, of which there are now only 5. So I'll just give you a quick idea of what we're seeing on this panel. So obviously it is the qualification title, the awarding body, the level, the sector subject area, guided learning hours, and credit value. Now I'm just going to reset these just because I want to show some Cash alumni and NCFE ones. So there is a slight difference that is worth mentioning at this stage. For NCFE and Cash alumni, we've got a lot more detail than what we have for the Ofqual data, and that's purely because you guys were able to provide a lot more in-depth kind of information for that. So you can see here you're a Cash alumni one. When we click into it, first of all we get all of your qualification aim details. There is one last thing for us to do, which is just to sort out the HTML for this, which we will be doing hopefully by the time we have the meeting next week. We can also click on the details, so you can see even more details that then links to your Qual Hub. And obviously what we've also now done is we have mapped as well all of the sensors that deliver this particular qualification, again based on the information that you've gave us. So just to kind of recap on all of that, the occupations that we are seeing here are based on the mappings that we have done, based on the fact that this individual candidate maps to nursing and administrator, and these are the qualifications that sit under both of those elements. If we look at something that isn't, it's important as well to mention that we always prioritise cash and NCFE at the top of the list. If we scroll a bit further down, therefore, you'll see some of the other awarding bodies. So for example, here you can see Pearson. The difference being here is we just use this boilerplate text to describe the qualification, because we just don't have any other details on there for that. But what we do have the capability to do is if a college was to take this on, they can then edit this to put in their own description should they want to. And again, because we've got this in the Ofqual information, we still have the link if they want to, so they can link out to the Pearson website to find out more detail about that qualification. It's just not there for the purposes of this exercise. And just like jobs as well, you can obviously see the kind of skills gap element for styles and interests as well. And then finally, for both jobs and qualifications, you can favourite, save it, so candidates can go back to do it later, and that's all tallied up in here, so you can see what we've saved and the ones that we've applied or inquired or enrolled for as well. I won't take you through again the concept of missions, because it's not really what this is all about, but obviously one of the next phases for us to do around this element will be to bring in some employability resources, particularly around CV writing, CV building, applications, etc. And obviously all of the profiling elements are in there as well. There's just one last little thing that I will briefly mention that we've brought into play for this iteration, and it's the concept, and we've spoke about this in some of the previous meetings, to capture skills. So for example, if we're talking about a college student who doesn't have any previous experience, and they might not really have any idea of what they want to do as an occupation, we can take into account some of the skills that they might just have from other areas of their life. So for example, just randomly putting something in, if you put something along the lines of sports coaching, what this does is it looks at our database of skills, of which we have about 15,000, along with many more thousands alternative labels for those skills. And what that then means, an individual candidate can use those skills as well to kind of point them in the direction of what their career would be. So in this particular instance, I've just put kind of organised training as a close relative to sports training. And then what this then does when it goes back into the profile, it catches up, you can just see there we've got some the manual added skills that we've just added in there, and all of these things can then be used again to find occupations that are suitable for that candidate. Right, I think that's it for this one. I've got another video to do for how this looks in the staff portal for a managed service, and also just a quick video for the super admin. Thank you.